What's going on, Facebook, YouTube, and everybody else out there in media land? Welcome to Kevin's Corner. Of course, always usually in my car. Um, just trying to make some sense out of nonsense, and there's a lot of nonsense that's going on around the world. And I will tell you, I got to give it to President Trump. He's the man. In spite of what all of the negative criticism has come from and how the media is doing everything, the liberal media is doing everything in their power to destroy this president, along with the false narratives that the Democrats have put out there, stupid things like the Russia investigation with absolutely no evidence. In spite of them trying to claim he's a neo-Nazi, sexist, misogynist, racist, anti-animals, anti-environment, and he hates everybody and all of that stuff. People need to stop for a second and think about what this president has had to deal with since becoming president. Now, first of all, I want you to imagine the opposite. Flip it and think about what if Hillary Clinton would have been president and had to deal with the amount of issues back to back that Trump has had to deal with. Out the box, he had to deal with Syria. He had to deal with North Korea. And then he gets hit with 2 hurricanes, 3 really, back to back, and now a tragedy in Vegas. And notice how during his campaign, he was hitting 3-4 states a night, where Hillary was hitting 1 every 4 or 5 days. Then she'll take a nap or 2, go home, get her feet massaged, rub, I don't know what she was doing, silking it, trying to take a knee and run out the clock thinking she had the game won. But Trump, to be 72 years old, out there banging it out, and he has not slowed down since he became the president. Do you think Hillary Clinton would be able to handle all of these issues just like that, fly all over the place? I mean, do you know how much time it takes to prep for a president to come somewhere? And he was like, I'm going to Vegas. Went to Vegas, and then was going to all different types of places that they didn't even, they're like, President, what are you talking about? You're going over there to see these people. You got to work with us here. Hey, nope, I'm going to see the people. And yet people would try to act like he's so insensitive. He's so removed from the public. He's so whatever. And I'm going, would you use some logic and reasoning concerning your judgment of President Trump? He has had to deal with more stuff than I can think of since I've been alive, of any president that was hit immediately with crisis, back to back to back to back to back. And he's handled them wonderfully if you look at it through eyes of reality, not through the eyes of the media. You talk to them, I don't care what he did. He could have went down there and saved 15 people from drowning, and they'd have been like, yeah, but you know what? There was a dog swimming by. He didn't grab the dog while he was pulling the people out the water. He's no good. He hates dogs. So when you hear people like that, and you hear people trying to bring all of these negative judgments about President Trump, it makes no sense. See, I want you to just remove everything that you have heard so far and been influenced. If you are a Trump hater, if you have been influenced by the media, I want you to remove that for a second and kind of think this through. All of the rest of the politicians rely on politics to survive. They play the games, they set the rules, they benefit off the rules, they force others to abide by the rules, and then they don't abide by the rules themselves. But their livelihood revolves around politics. President Trump never needed to get into politics. He had everything that he wanted. You're telling me that he said, you know what I'm going to do now that I'm 72 years old, stinking rich, done everything I want? I'm going to now risk my brand name. I'm going to open up my family for criticism. I'm going to use my own campaign money, use my own money for my campaign. I'm going to become accused of being every horrific thing that anybody in the media can think of, because I don't play by their games and I'm not a part of the good old boy system, whether it be Democrats or Republicans. Now he goes from being a hero and a TV personality that everybody loves, and all black people love Trump, and all of that stuff. And now all of a sudden he's a racist. Now all of a sudden he's a misogynist. Now all of a sudden he hates Muslims. Now all of a sudden he's a white supremacist. You're telling me that he don't really want to see America be a great country. He simply is doing this because he wants to see America suddenly become just a white supremacist country? You're telling me that he waited until he's 72 to become a Russian agent, like they're trying to say? He waited until he was 72 to manifest that he's a part of the Ku Klux Klan? You telling me that he's saying, you know what? I got everything I want. Let me add more trouble and sorrow to myself by becoming the president of the United States. All because I want to show the world how racist and sexist and anti everything else that I am. I want to become hated instead of loved by everybody. So when people try to judge President Trump, it's like they suspend all logic. And I'm going, you're not thinking about the opposition and why it would benefit them to paint Donald Trump in every negative light that he can possibly be painted in. And what's crazy is Donald Trump has been a straight shooter way before he became the president, and nobody complained about his harsh language then. He was harsh on The Apprentice. He was harsh. People laughed. It was great. You know, he is who he is. And that is why people like him, and that's why people voted for him. What you see is what you get. He calls it like it is. He ain't never called nobody the N-word. He ain't never brought up race when it comes down to these things that they're trying to apply it to, like just because he didn't judge the Nazis down in Virginia, that means he must be for them. Or just because he said that the sons of bees need to stand or be fired for not kneeling through the American flag. That was an attack on black people. He never said anything about that. Those things, those racial issues were implied for a reason. Because since God knows how long, the Democrats has been using division to get in office. And nobody seems to even question that. Nobody, it's like they just believe they hear what he say and just say, let me suspend all logic and just believe what CNN or CBS, whatever they are, says. And let me just buy into their spin on it and not even use any reasoning skills or even any grammatical skills, contextual skills, nothing. I'm just going to imply what I feel he meant into that statement. And therefore, he's a racist and he hates everybody. And yet, he has handled serious crisis in this country in a short amount of time. And I guarantee you, Hillary Rodham Clinton's crooked butt would have never been able to handle these things with that type of alacrity. He is Johnny on the spot, got over there to Vegas real quick. And the Democrats, they're stupid because all of the attacks and the criticism on him is trumped by patriotism, by people who are sick of political correctness, by people who are sick of partisan politics, by people that are sick of them threatening our gun rights, by people who are sick of our speech being deemed as hate speech. Anything you say against them is, this is hate speech. By people who are sick of race baiting, by people who are sick of people focusing on all these small little interest groups instead of the masses, and by people who have practical thinking minds that say, if he is that evil, why is he going to visit the sick? Why is he going down to Florida, to Puerto Rico, to Texas? Why is he picking up little black babies and kissing them, and black people taking selfies with him, and the black people who actually met him and didn't have to rely on the media for their judgment say, man, I thought he was one way at first, but after meeting him, he ain't nothing like they say he is. And people with logical, practical minds, they see through that, and next election, it's going to happen all over again. The police see it, that he's supporting them, the first responders, all of that stuff. And he's a hands-on president. And for the first time that I can think of, we finally got a president who is not a part of the system, trying to clean up the swamp. And it should dawn on people that if the left and the right hate him, that both of them really are part of the system. Not all of them, not all of the right hate him, but a lot of the right hate him, and almost all the left hate him. And it's crazy because I'm going, we finally got somebody in there that don't care about what the left or the right think, but he just shoots it down the middle and will call out both ends and is willing to clean up the swamp. And they have successfully convinced some vulnerable people in our society that he's not for their interests. And the practical, logical things that he presents and his policies are somehow twisted, evil, and sadistic. And for the life of me, I go, people will cut off their nose to spite their face. It's like they have no idea that there is someone finally in office that is an advocate for the people. And just because you got political haters out there and media haters out there, they're subject to just buy into anything. Yeah, just because he didn't say certain things, that means he must mean something else that he didn't say. Or something I'm going to make up in my mind that's what he really meant when he said it. Doesn't make any sense, man. But you can't make sense out of nonsense. If you're in Kevin's Corner, click like, subscribe. And also, I know I've been slipping, guys, on my little link that I need to put in the bottom of this. But, check back. I have a link for a cool t-shirt if you're looking for it. Support me because, of course, YouTube at this point is trying to demonetize everybody who has some rational thoughts and are conservatives. Anyway, thanks for listening. Just my take on it, man. You got to give props to the president. And see, even if you don't like the president, at least compliment him when he does something good. That's when you know somebody is an adamant hater, when they're going, I don't care what he do. He can save my life. And I'll be like, man, get off me. Get me sick. Stupid. Anyway.